Hi. Um, it's your girl, Sugar and Spice. Back again to annoy you. And drop some A1 spiritual truths on you or whatever. I'm kind of gonna rush through this mostly because I have appointments and I'm doing this in between. But that's the life of an intuitive. If you feel called to do something, you just do it without question. Anyway, so today we are going to talk about life purpose because a lot of my clients that book Akashic sessions, that's like their number one thing to ask. If there's one thing in the world they want to know is what their life purpose is, which I don't blame you because same. So the records themselves were kind of like, we always give the same answer. Maybe it's about time that you kind of nip this in the bud and just put this on YouTube for everyone to know for free. And I was like, you know what? I think you're right. I think that's going to avoid a lot of repetition for them, for me. But, thankfully, God and the Akashic Records just like never get tired of repeating things. So God bless them. But I do. So I'm going to nip it in the bud and we're going to talk about the difference between life purpose and life occupation because those two are very different concepts. So if you're not familiar with the Akashic Records, I'm kind of going to include a little quip about them down below, but essentially they're referred to in many Bibles as the book of life. So every feeling, thought, decision, experience you've ever had since the first incarnation of your soul across every lifetime has been documented by the record. So it's essentially like your trajectory of lifetimes. It's like a Google, but like from your soul. Anyway, so let's talk about it. All right, so my first question to the records was, what is my life purpose? So the records are like, all right, here's the deal. The soul purpose, your life purpose, the whole reason why you're alive and like walking this earth, everybody has the same one, period, which is to leave. Which, I mean, I'm not going to fight on it because that makes total sense. But to expand on it, they're saying the soul purpose, like the desire of the soul, the whole reason the soul came here is to leave. Is to leave humanity, to return to where you came out of. A lot of us call that heaven. The records refer to it as the rational plane. The rational plane is where we come out of. The whole reason we are here is essentially to prove to ourselves that we are who we say we are. And that is to experience what we have conceptualized about ourselves. So a really easy way that I can, a really insignificant example that I can make of it to oversimplify is I think myself to be a generous person, a generous queen, in fact. But how could I know that about myself? Like, I think that I'm generous, but if I was in an environment where nobody needs what I have and everyone has the same amount of whatever it is that I desire, then how would I know myself to be generous? Like, I've never had an opportunity to be generous or to experience generosity unless I am taken out of the realm of the absolute, which is where God is, which is God is everything, therefore he is nothing type of paradigm of thinking, to the realm of the relative, which is where we live. We don't know what generosity is until we know what not having or poverty or greed is. We don't know how big we are until we realize how small we can feel, etc., etc. It's just there's no light, or I guess, yeah. We can't experience light without first knowing what darkness is. We can't be healers without having something to heal from, first and foremost, etc. So essentially what they're saying is our whole life purpose is to leave the realm of the relative, which is the realm of suffering. Because, you can't have light without first knowing what the hell the dark is. And that's kind of like the barrio, I guess, like the spiritual barrio is earth, because everybody's like, the relative, look at these people not knowing who they are, a mess. But anyway, so our whole like soul purpose, life purpose, why we are here is to experience what we have already conceptualized about ourselves. So I think of myself as a generous queen, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to go all the way to earth, forget everything I've ever known and I've ever learned, and I'm still going to be and choose to be in every opportunity that presents itself to me generous. Yeah, and that's kind of how like you level up as far as your soul level goes. You elevate every time because you're like, I'm going to forget everything I've ever known and I'm just going to come down here and I'm going to consistently choose intuitively and from a heart space who I am in every single moment. So, our life purpose essentially to yeet right out of this place, and to give ourselves the benefit of the doubt. That's all it is. Where we're like, put me in, coach. I promise, like, I'm such a good person. I'm so confident that I'm going to go all the way to earth and I'm going to experience myself as a good person, even if I'm presented with ample opportunity to be a bad person. Like, that's literally all it is. It's not even like a school or a test of character. It's just choosing who you are. Right. So let's see. Your soul doesn't feel recognized here. Yeah, well, we feel lost as far as like life purpose goes because we're like, well, we don't feel significant. We don't feel recognized. Well, yeah, because we don't live here. Like, this is not where we're supposed to be. Like, that's just facts. So humanity is not supposed to be that serious. It's not supposed to go this deep because we're a tiny microscopic second in the grand scheme of life. So if you're not having fun, don't do it. Like, just don't do it. Just don't. Anywho, so that was my first question. And then, so the difference was your soul purpose is always to yeet out of this place and to experience yourself, to create yourself essentially in every moment. Are you generous when somebody asks you to be? Are you not generous because you actually think it's more generous not helping someone, thus enabling them, etc., etc.? So you're just here as one big fat fucking experiment of who you are. Now, your life's occupation. That is what most people are asking in the Akashic Records, but they use the word purpose because they relate purpose to occupation. Our purpose is not to work. Our purpose is not tied to any sort of career for ourselves. So the difference is that your life's occupation changes in accordance to your soul's needs, virtues, and opportunities presented to elevate and to serve others. To look for one single occupation is folly. Instead, look for fulfillment of your personal statements and find answers. Personal statements meaning there ain't no reason to do anything at all ever unless it's a statement of who you are to God, the universe, source, spirit, whatever you want to call it, ancestors. So what it's saying is to look for one single occupation to do for the rest of your life is not realistic in the human experience because it's realistic for God. Because God lives in the realm of the absolute. God is everything and is nothing at the same time. We don't have that luxury here. So for us to want to marry ourselves to just one particular circumstance our whole lives just isn't realistic. Instead, it's about having an anchor of your value system, who you are, and looking for opportunities to joyfully serve and create opportunities for other people. And that is what we're supposed to be doing. So it's not about one life occupation. It's about creating opportunity in every occupation that calls to you. I mean, I was studying to be a lawyer because, I believed in helping people. I believed I was quick enough to learn the law and, hood enough to digest it, break it down, and pass it on to the people that I know in the barrio that need to defend themselves from police brutality. So that was my whole goal. And Spirit was like, nah, tarot reader. But I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking big spiritual concepts and I'm making them small and I'm delivering them to you so that you can more easily apply them in the average person's life, in your average life. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm doing the same thing. And the occupation definitely changed, took a drastic left turn, but the purpose stayed the same. Taking big concepts, breaking them down, making them accessible. Something I've always been passionate about. Likewise, anchor yourself in, who you are, your value system, and then life's occupations will evolve as you grow and have other needs. So let's see. Question number 2 was, what about those having a hard time looking for a job? It is what it is. Like, we live here, we need a job. So then the records were like, they are not looking in areas that match their needs and talents. Find a new direction and dare to dream, not be realistic. We are powerful and can make miracles happen at will. Should you invite us with complete trust and faith to allow the guidance provided? It need no longer be that difficult. So what they're saying is times are changing. What used to be difficult doesn't have to be anymore. But you do have to open up that spiritual connection between yourself and whatever deity you want to pray to, whatever God you choose to, source, universe, whatever. You need their help because they can make shit happen like this. I've seen them do it, okay? It's about asking from a sincere heart space, and it's about not selling yourself short to what you deem realistic, because a lot of the time what we deem realistic for ourselves isn't actually realistic. We actually deem ourselves a lot less worthy than what we really are. So number 3, I asked, how can one get started familiarizing themselves with occupations that match their talents and needs? They gave me a statement. You can use, my name is blank. The natural talents that make me great are blank, blank, and blank. How I best apply them is blank, blank, blank. And I wish to apply them for this specific purpose, blank, blank, blank. I probably should have written something before trying it, but I'll just try it live now to give you guys an example. My name is Denise. The natural talents that make me great are my gift of gab, my intellectual prowess, and my honesty. I can best apply them by taking large concepts, understanding them thoroughly and quickly, breaking them down, and delivering them in ways that are more accessible to the general public. I can best apply them through writing, speaking, and reading. And what for? Well, ideally, I would like to write, speak, and make complex information accessible to help people feel what I feel when I talk to spirit or when I receive confirmation of something I wanted. Really just to make everybody feel like they're going to be okay, because they are. So that was my example. You guys feel free to go ahead and do the thing. I'll also put it in the description, that way you guys can write it down. So let's see. So that's kind of like your anchor. Just write that little paragraph and then just keep it with you in your pocket. All right, question number 4. How can you tell when one is on the right career path for them? You love going to work. You find creative ways to openly invite others to join you in your work efforts. You feel safe and comfy in the work environment. You earn a living wage. You are recognized and valued as a significant part of the company. You need no validation, and your quality of work speaks for itself and brightens the day or lightens the load for your fellow man. I said comfy because that's what I wrote, but I know they said comfortable. So you know you're on the right track when you genuinely like your job so much that you invite the people you know to enjoy it with you, as well as you feel good because you know the work you produced that day lightened the load for someone else, or just kind of was of service to something outside of your own interest. Question number 5 to wrap it up, because I really have to get to this other appointment. Let me see. Number 5. Is it appropriate for holistic and spiritual workers to earn money for their services? Now, that one I just asked knowing the answer, but I don't know. I feel like spiritual practitioners are always attacked for their prices or like even charging for their service. And I'm just like, if only y'all knew. So I'm going to go ahead and let you know and break it down one time. Anyway, so number 5, yes, absolutely. Is anybody shocked? Am I shocked? No. But, oh well. Anyway, so is it okay for spiritual practitioners to charge for their services? Yes, absolutely. Being paid to do godly work that is healing, of compassion, and of intuition, does not stop being noble, does not stop the work from being noble in intent and execution. In fact, when money is exchanged for their service, the quality of the service increases because it is paid, for it reciprocates energy. Meaning when you pay for a service, that practitioner's intuition actually pops off to match the price that you paid versus the effort that versus the transmissions that would be coming through the conduit if it were just for free. Which makes a lot of sense now that I think about the work I've done for free versus the work I've been paid for. I'm realizing some shit. Anyway, yeah, for it reciprocates the energy. The difference is, oh, okay. So the difference between, so what triggers people about spiritual practitioners who are doing God's work and healing work being paid. What triggers the collective as like, oh, you're not supposed to be doing that, or feeling some type of way for you earning money doing this kind of work, is that money doesn't control spiritual practitioners. And because money doesn't control spiritual practitioners, they have more of it. Ooh. That's a fucking fact. Read it and weep. But anyway, which makes sense because spiritual practitioners, I mean, once you're asking questions about life purpose and you're asking questions about like your whole existence, are there aliens, do ghosts exist, do all, like, did the Aztecs, were they visited by aliens, you know what I mean? Once you're asking those deep ass questions, you're probably not concerned as much about monetary comfort, because at that point you're kind of like, honestly, dude, I'm Gucci. Like, as long as I know what's up, like, I'm good, I'm fine, I'll figure it out. And they do say the secret to having everything is to want nothing at all. So when you think of the ascended masters, Jesus Christ, perfect example, actually, I'll stop there. Jesus Christ, it's not that he didn't have the ability to inspire action. It's not that he didn't have the ability to inspire gifts and receiving money. It's that he wasn't controlled by it. Neither was Lao Tzu, neither was Buddha, or any of the ascended masters. So what triggers the collective is that they're so caught up in the rat race that when they see a spiritual practitioner receiving ample work, ample money, they're triggered by it because they're like, how could they be doing that? And I'm not making enough money when I'm working twice as hard, or I'm suffering twice as much as they are. And they seem happy and they're making money. Why? I'm so mad at that. And it's like, because we ain't want it. Because we're making enough to survive, live our best life, and that's it, because money just doesn't control us. So, and this isn't to condescend anyone. I grew up in the barrio. I still fucking struggle spending money comfortably because I'm always like, I'm never gonna have it. But that's just what it is. Money stops controlling you once you get right with God, because you're more concerned with that relationship than anything else that's going on in your life. So is it okay for spiritual practitioners? Yes. And they're probably going to only get richer and richer, because that's literally, God is not going to let his channelers starve. That's just, it's not in his best interest to let us die of starvation. Listen, make it make sense. But anyway, that was it. I'm sorry that I talked really fast, but hopefully, the information is still there, still present. Again, that little anchor paragraph statement was, my name is blah, blah, blah. What the skills that make me great are blah, blah, blah. I apply them best when I blah, blah, blah. And I hope to do blah, blah, blah with it for this purpose and stuff like that. So I hope that kind of helps ground you guys, because I know there's a lot of movement. People are moving houses, people are switching careers, and it just seems like everyone's kind of in a period of transition with like a big ass question mark on their forehead. So I hope that this kind of grounds you and puts things into perspective, that you are not here to work. That is not your purpose. Do not confuse life occupation with life purpose, with soul purpose, because those are very different from each other. And the sooner you get right with that, the sooner all of the material is taken care of for you. Spiritual awareness, spiritual health and maintenance, and financial abundance go hand in hand. So get right with God, and I promise you your bank account gonna get right too. Anyway, I'm Sugar and Spice, your girl, my tan. looking so good right now. But yeah, comment. Let's start a discussion. Let me know if it helps. Let me know if I should do another one more in depth, etc., etc. There will be more, and there is a whole series coming out in October full of scary shit where I'm going to be asking the records a lot of heavy hitting questions, and I'm really excited for that. Very excited to drop some truth and debunk some myths. So stay tuned, subscribe, share this with whoever's going through that transition in your life right now if they need some help, and book me. The fuck? Book me. Let me give you the tea. Alrighty. One last plug. I do have an intermediate level tarot class as well, personally dictated, just like this was, by the records. So when I tell you don't fuck up your blessings by thinking you know everything about tarot, listen, I was shook by some of the lessons that are in the intermediate tarot level. I was like, I feel bamboozled. But anyway, please sign up for my intermediate tarot level class. Beginner tarot level classes, it's filled up, but I am going to be opening up another round in just a couple weeks. So stay tuned, follow my Twitter, etc. to stay up to date. All right, bye everyone.